Hi, welcome to another episode of Cold Fusion, where I cover anything in science, technology, business, or history. This is just going to be a quick one.
Okay.
As I've said many times before, Facebook, now Meta, is the company that everyone loves to hate.
Now let's be honest here. There's 10 million reasons at this point to absolutely hate Facebook and Mark Zuckerberg for everything they stand for. First of all, Facebook doesn't think of you as a human, even. No, you're just a pay pig. A dumb pay pig at that. Facebook has fought in courts against countries for the right to milk you as hard as possible. And Facebook most likely will continue to do that. Facebook has lobbied for regulations that help it milk you and make privacy laws more lax because they don't see you as a human. And most infuriating, honestly, is the fact that Facebook thinks that you're stupid. Facebook unironically thinks that they know what's best for you. It's not the idea that they think they know what's best for you. No. Facebook flat out knows, just flat out full stop, knows what's better for you. So if you want to watch X, but someone at Facebook, the absolute peak humanity example, thinks that something in the world is currently important and everyone should know about it, well, congratulations, your feed is gonna be full of that crap. Facebook doesn't care about you. They think they know what's best for you, and they 100% relish in that fact.
With that in mind, it's easy to see why the events of yesterday came with such great joy to a lot of people. Meta's market cap fell by 26% in one day,
Beautiful. Look at this. Beautiful.
raising $240 billion of value, 25% in one day. This was the biggest single-day market cap drop in history for a US
That is huge, by the way. And most of that money, by the way, was Zuckerberg's, so, be happy a bit about that.
publicly traded company. Zuckerberg personally lost $29 billion in the collapse.
Damn.
So what caused it? And what does this signal for the company?
You are watching Cold Fusion TV.
Now, there's an interesting thing about what caused it. There are a lot of factors, but one of the biggest things that people forget about platforms like Facebook, Instagram, and everything that relies on human interaction to make it valuable is the fact that these are literally meme stocks. And by meme stocks, I mean the fact that Facebook, Instagram, and so on will grow and become more valuable until the point where they have they have overlaid all of the people they can overlay. And at that point, they're gonna start dropping in price because when there are no new people that can join the platform, you have essentially completely expunged the reason why why people think you're gonna grow. Because no more people coming to the platform, how are you gonna make those numbers grow? If people can now only leave your platform because you have literally sucked in everyone and anyone you can suck in, there's no reason for your stock prices to go up. So this is prime meme stock real estate in my opinion. We recently saw it with Netflix, by the way. And by the way, these are just predictions. I have no idea what he's gonna say here, why and whatnot. But it's called Fusion, and that's a pretty good channel, so yeah. But for example, Netflix. Netflix has recently went downhill a lot, in fact. And you know why that is? Because for many years now, they have reported growth in subscribers. New people are coming into Netflix, and every year there's a million more people using Netflix as a subscription. But now, the moment they first showed people that they actually lost subscribers, that's it. They also had a huge stock value wipe there. It plummeted down instantly. First time they make it public that they have lost people watching and using the subscription service, their stock just plummeted. And this is the same with Facebook. Facebook is already used by absolutely everyone, and Facebook just pisses off people nowadays more. Delete Facebook is trending on Twitter pretty much, I would say, bi-monthly at this point. It's insane. Oh, and also, a little bit of an interesting fact. I don't know that much about it, but it's a very interesting thing that companies like Facebook, Instagram, and even Netflix market themselves to investors also as technology companies. Now, Facebook admittedly could do that, but my god, these stocks are so memes. Because Facebook, no, not Facebook, but Netflix turns out marketed itself as a technology stock also to investors. Can you imagine that? What kind of meme world we are living into when you can convince someone that Netflix, the company that makes shows and shit, is a technology stock? Absolutely mind blowing.
So why did the stock fall so much? Or
Memes.
simply put, the Facebook platform is losing popularity.
Yup.
Back in 2018, younger Americans and Europeans began to leave the platform in droves. Back then, that was still okay for Facebook's bottom line, because the developing market uptake was growing at a much faster rate than Western markets were.
Yep, this is pretty much the prime reason. He says it in a pretty complicated way, but he is essentially saying, yeah, while people from the US and Europe left Facebook, from other countries the influx of people was bigger than the people who left.
Believing. In an earnings report yesterday, the company stated that, for the first time in its history, the Facebook social network platform was losing daily users overall.
It's literally always that. It's the most simple explanation. Now, this is in no way any kind of financial advice, but you see the potential here. You see something that's reaching its peak, and if it's something like Facebook, where its value gets determined by the amount of people using it, you can short some of that shit. Wait, this cannot be financial advice because I'm not telling you in what to invest directly. Haha! Double win.
The Facebook platform's Indian, African, and Latin American markets are now bleeding users. The platform may have reached peak saturation.
Oh shit! I honestly, my assumption was that it was just Europe and US leaving way too rapidly. But the fact that already India and all of those other places are bleeding out, that's insane.
Young people in developing markets now go straight to TikTok, and in Western markets, Facebook is now seemingly a destination for old people and mothers groups. Everyone else mainly uses it for...
Facebook always was the destination for old people, by the way. In reality, the only real use for Facebook that is commercially viable is keeping up with relatives that you don't actually see in real life. What they're doing, and that's it. Honestly, that's the only real use for Facebook.
Messenger, groups, and events. The main Facebook wall, where most of the advertising takes place, isn't exactly why people log on anymore.
True. What's the point also logging on? Most of the thing at the main wall or whatever is gonna be curated by Facebook itself. There are very rare examples of social medias nowadays that don't absolutely curate the shit out of what you see in the trending tabs and so on. For example, on Twitter, nothing is natural in the trending tab. Everything has been artificially placed in the trending tab in Twitter.
Apple's move to make ad tracking more difficult has also hurt Facebook's bottom line.
Oh, Facebook was pissed about that.
Is advertising driven after all. In short, Meta wasn't going to be making as much money from Facebook as they forecast. This news surprised the markets. And if you know anything about trading, markets absolutely hate surprises. And from there, we saw the biggest wipeout.
Well, no, but, a surprise like that happens. This is kind of pretty much, honestly, the reaction that you expect. Also, have they not actually gotten back a little bit? Because, these things are always overblown nowadays. You hear some kind of bad news for the first time. It may be minor or not, but there's a chance that the stock just plummets because overreactions.
In history.
Will this truly be the future for Facebook?
Look, it's obviously a pivotal point for Facebook here, and the question is, what happens over the next few years? Does it recover, and is it able to pivot into a metaverse-first company? Is it able to compete with TikTok? Is it able...
Oh, God. Actually, If you Facebook currently has invested 40 billion or something like that, it's absolutely ridiculous, into creating the metaverse, which is ridiculous. And I'm talking serious metaverse, where you can go to work in your furry BDSM favorite suit and no one can bat an eye. That shit. I'm sure everyone trusts Mark Lizardman Zuckerberg to be the ruler of the new metaverse. Yeah, no, I kind of don't want that to happen.
To actually lean into video the way Mark Zuckerberg wants it to? Or does the stock languish for the next 15 years like we saw with Microsoft after 2000?
Now, it is rare when you find so many people getting the story so wrong going into a print. I mean, if you consider the 52 analysts on Wall Street who cover the stock, 42 of them, 42 of the 52 have either buys or market outperform ratings.
And this is why you don't believe that crap. Honestly. If you're investing in stocks and you think those people know best, why the fuck would they share that information with you? When was the last time the buy/sell evaluation of a stock been accurate? Pretty much never.
On the stock, that's how offsides the street is on the story at this point in terms of this print and the guide, Tim.
Facebook losing popularity isn't the only reason for the fall. The whole Meta company is going through a lot of controversy. As we
Meta sued for $2.3 billion over claims Facebook users and exploit. Wow, shocking! Facebook exploiting its users. How? Okay, let me argue from the perspective of Facebook. How can we exploit animals? No, wait. How can we exploit mindless drones? That's more like it.
Discussed in other Cold Fusion episodes. There's been major pressures on Meta from regulators and other government bodies after the harm that Instagram and Facebook caused.
Look at that smile, that goddamn lizard man.
Was exposed over and over again by various whistleblowers. To add to this, the Metaverse Ventures have already lost the company $8.3 billion. And yesterday it was revealed that the Oculus Quest headset had lost $3.3 billion in one quarter,
Jesus.
Despite revenues reaching...
Wait, this is actually... Oh... That's a decent 3 billion. You know, that's a decent amount. You know, that's something even Zuck, my boy, thinks about probably.
Million. It's likely that investors would like to see some results from a venture into the metaverse sooner rather than later. And it's not like there's no money to be made. Real estate sales in the metaverse exceeded 500 million last year.
Yeah, real estate sales in the metaverse. Everyone just looked at the real estate, all of those games, all of that bullshit in the real estate in the metaverse as pretty much the next NFTs. You know, if it blows up, it blows up. So yeah, a lot of people bought into that shit, and guess what? They can't sell it now because turns out fake land without any purpose or anything else but buying and selling doesn't really attract the attention of people. Surprising, I know.
And it's expected to double this year. To succeed here, Meta needs a big slice of the growing pie. In addition to this, growth and risk stocks may have had their time in the sun. Overall, the US economy isn't looking too great. The country just crossed $30 trillion in debt and may dip into recession, with the Atlanta Fed predicting GDP growth next quarter of 0.1%. Inflation is right.
That was already proven incorrect. And Biden's team did the good old, let's switch out the definition of recession.
To record highs.
Admittedly, again, I have already talked about the recession thing. I wouldn't actually say that, just 2 quarters being in the negative necessarily nowadays means a recession because it's still manageable. But, it's not looking good.
70% of GDP last quarter was companies simply hoarding stock inventory in fears of inflation. People are quitting their jobs en masse, and interest rates are rising.
Everyone's understanding that the neat life, the free tendy life is a little bit better than the drone life.
Many investors are asking themselves, does this seem like a great time to be putting my money in speculative tech stock plays?
Yes.
For now, the answer may still well be yes, but in a couple of years, investors may look elsewhere for safer returns. So, is this the end of Meta?
No.
Hardly.
Karen, I'll go to you first. Is down 22% warranted?
It seems a little overdone to me, but, we talk about the 3-day rule all the time, and certainly I think, let this shake out.
Other Meta sub-brands like WhatsApp and Instagram are still adding users. Meta also plans to focus on their short video format.
Yeah, that's true. Wait, WhatsApp also is it has been predicted that it's not gonna have that many users anymore left that wanna use it, because most people are already using WhatsApp. I would say even like in the last 2 years, it most likely had reached peak user base. Everyone's using WhatsApp. It's like I haven't called a single person in my phone through the normal phone function in like 4 years at this point. WhatsApp is just the best thing ever.
Reels to bring in more users and generate revenue. This recent crash of Meta was most likely just a stock market overreaction, and the stock will probably bounce back in no time. But if the company keeps on missing earnings targets, things may play out differently.
Okay, like that is the most obvious truth you will ever find. Yeah, if a company sets out earning targets and targets in general and they miss all of them, yeah, it's probably not going to be good. That's probably not going to exactly boast the confidence of the investors. No, that's going to probably do the exact opposite. You would assume, right?
After all, just back in June of last year, Meta was worth $1 trillion, and now it's down 35%. But
yeah, that makes sense because that's good. It's an absolute evaluation. What does Meta actually produce? What does Zuck and Cuck's Facebook actually provide people? Nothing. It's just a time sink. And when you have competitors like TikTok, it provides double the nothing. Because you provide nothing, but there's also a competitive platform that people really like and are hyped about, and considering your stock is literally just based on meme value, not actual monetary worth, well, obviously it's gonna drop.
But ultimately, it's way too early to tell what this could mean. So what do you guys think about this? Do you see this as just a blip in the road? Or do you think that this...
Admittedly, he has a point. This is probably a blip in the road because it's going to most likely go back up. Even if now we're technically experiencing a crash and everything goes down the shitter. After like 5 years, Facebook, if it still exists, which it most likely will still exist, it will be more. It will be up more than it currently is, more than it lost, 100%. Stocks have never in the history of ever went down. That's just the brutal reality.
This might be something bigger, a sign of things to come for Meta. I do think that this crash being the biggest single-day value loss in history might tell us something. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. If you want to discuss this in more detail or suggest a future video, head on over to the Cold Fusion Discord.
And that's pretty much it. Cold Fusion, good shit. Anyway. Yeah, that's it. I hate Facebook. Have a nice day. Subscribe. Bye-bye.